Hello and welcome to the 2017 African Regional Conference in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. I'm joined now by Stanley Wachs, who is Head of Bank Engagement at Swift's GPI initiative. Stanley, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for your invitation.
Now, there's a big focus this year on trade and correspondent banking flows in Africa at this year's conference. And you had a pre-event workshop just a few hours ago where you touched on some of those issues. From your perspective, Stanley, what are some of the key challenges in the cross-border payments landscape today?
So actually for the last many years, international payments have been slow. They can take multiple days. They can be expensive with multiple price deductions along the way, which means very limited transparency on the end-to-end fee structure. And there's a real absence of being able to track a payment. Many corporate treasurers will say to you that often sending an international payment, it's then like a black hole. You sort of wait and see, pray that the transaction has hit the beneficiary's account. So there are some real challenges in the marketplace, and today actually we're looking to address those and launched about 18 months ago a project called GPI, Global Payments Innovation, that will completely transform the banking industry.
So you touched on this during the workshop, Stanley. What is GPI and how does it help banks and corporates to navigate this payments landscape?
Right, so GPI, Global Payments Innovation, was launched December 2015, when actually at Cybos Singapore, a few months before that date, banks stood up and said, we actually need to do something about the fact that the traditional correspondent banking model was under real pressure. Pressure from, on one hand, customers looking for a better payment service quality, a better customer experience, really. Secondly, in many domestic markets, these payment transactions were starting to go real time. So the expectation on the cross-border leg was also increasing. And last but not least, the fact that the new alternative digital new technologies also in the marketplace put and has been putting some pressure on banks who recognize at Cybos Singapore that now was the time to do something and to do something relatively quickly. That was the time for Swift GPI. So global payments innovation is at the nutshell, or at the center of it, really a new set of business rules captured in basically a new set of multilateral SLAs, service level agreements, whereby banks agree to a faster speed of service. So actually transactions will be, in its first version of GPI, credited on the same day, so same day value of funds being the first and foremost new service dimension. The second one is the fact that there will be full transparency on the end-to-end fee structure. And the third one, and I can then talk to you about how we enable that, will be about providing, like DHL or Amazon today would, to you, be able to provide the ability to track a payment. And for that, to be able to execute on these three new service dimensions for a much better customer experience at the end of the day for corporates, but also individuals, we've launched a new set of products. And the first one is a tracker, a payment tracker. So that payment tracker is actually a big game changer for the industry because it will allow transactions to be monitored and tracked from the time it's sent to the time it's paid out. Secondly, it will also provide the fee structure, or how much the transaction has cost, and also how long the transaction took to reach the beneficiary's account. Okay. So the DHL of financial services is pretty much this payment tracker that we're introducing. And
so it answers a lot of the challenges you raised in the first part of the interview. But I guess the question here is, in order to really tackle those problems, it needs good take-up and good traction in the market. How are things looking in terms of new customers, new clients?
So we've seen significant traction and momentum in every geography actually. Today, and the number is changing by the day, but today we have 103 banks globally, large global transaction banks, but also more regional key domestic players in their jurisdictions that have signed up to say, I am ready to really endorse, adopt GPI, and for this to become the new standard in cross-border payments. So indeed, great traction. Those 103 banks represent about 75% of Swift cross-border payments traffic. And again, great representation across the regions. And since we're here in Abidjan, indeed the workshop was successful today with about 50 bankers coming in. We're looking for more traction and more adoption here in the African market.
Well, I look forward to watching GPI's success in the coming years. Stanley, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.